Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhujis. Dandavat Pranam. I welcome all of you for today's session. We will start with small prayers. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय श्री श्री गौरताई की जय श्री 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 जगन्नाथ बलराम सुभद्रा मैया की जय जगत गुरु पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय
हरे कृष्णा माताजी।
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining today's session. We will get started with chapter 10 today. So anyone would like to...
माताजी हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Can anyone of you recap chapter 9? Yesterday's session. Lata Mataji.
मैं say daily I'm
Right.
telling you this. I'm just giving chance to others. So okay, I will carry on. Actually, I am taking
Usually,
screenshot of
Sujata Mataji usually also comes
yeah.
forward, but yesterday I think she did not attend the entire class. She had to drop off, looks like.
Yesterday we discussed about 9th chapter, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya, confidential knowledge, and the acronym for this 9th chapter framed by you as King. King K is actually confidential knowledge, and 1 second. So yeah, in this.
Let me
1 second.
keep the slide on so
Yeah.
that you can refer and...
Yeah. See, the acronym for our 9th chapter is King, K for knowledge, and I for inconceivable relationship. This you have fascinately explained in this 9th chapter between 4th sloka to 10th sloka. And N is for non-worship, and G for glories of bhakti. Glories of bhakti is detailed in slokas between 26 to 34. And what is actually knowledge explained by Lord Krishna to the Arjuna is actually explained in first, second, and third slokas. degree of confidential knowledge. Here, confidential means the identification of distinction between body and soul. And more confidential knowledge is about the sambandha, relationship between the soul and Paramatma. And the most confidential is pure devotional service and Krishna's reciprocation. And the next is the explained about two qualifications to understand this knowledge is Anusuya non-envious. So should be non-envious is one of the qualification to understand this confidential knowledge. And another one is Shraddha. Shraddha is faith. And the king of knowledge is actually given by the Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna to the Arjuna. What are the characteristics of confidential knowledge? You explained, Mataji. Raja Vidya, Raja Gukhyam, Pavitram, Uttamam, like that, Avyayam, like everlasting. You explained about these characteristics. Then inconceivable relationship explained in the slokas between 4 to 10. And so who are the people they are rejecting Krishna? You explained the top two. And non-worship, the fools. Fools deride Supreme God also, coming under the non-worshipian people. So those who are not worshipping our Lord Krishna. And then you explained about who is Mahatma. So this is actually quoted in a coined in the sloka 13, like that Mahatma Nas Tumam. So in that you can get the exact meaning of Mahatma explained by Lord Sri Krishna. And how to recognize Mahatma also explained. That is given in 9.14, 14th sloka. And then activities of Mahatma, other types of worshippers. So these are all covered in 14th sloka to 25th sloka. Like that, who is father, mother, and support and grandsire of our materialistic people, Jivatmas. It has been explained in 17th sloka, and how Krishna reciprocates to Mahatmas. So that also explained, and that is covered in 22nd sloka of this chapter, Rajagupya. And result of those who accept or reject Krishna. So that also very well explained here in the sloka 9.25. Different paths you have given. You explained in the terms of paths like giving a relationship. So who is the maternal real parents, and the other people like uncles, like that, other relations. So how they are treating, and this Krishna is actually our real parent, and these blessings from Krishna is actually eternal. And for from there he compared this uncle type of relationship with demigods. This is temporary. And likewise glories of devotional service also you have quoted and explained very well in the slokas between 26 and 34. And then bodily maintenance. Work is needed even for a bodily maintenance. That also you have explained. And religious duties. So do it only for Krishna, and eat charity and austerity, everything. So you take Krishna as a center point while doing work and while doing anything. Take Krishna as a point and center point. And freedom comes from connection and not disconnection. So how will you get the freedom? It has been covered nicely with the kite and thread. So thread is like the connection between Lord Krishna and us. The kite front frame is us, and the kite holder is nothing but our Supreme Lord Krishna. And is the Lord partial, you told? The Lord is not partial, but whoever renders service unto me and in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to me. Like that, he explained in this chapter very nicely. And even if the saintly temporarily falls down, so even if the saintly, like you are given Bharata, King Mahabharata, how he transformed in his future Janmas, like Mahabharata to deer to Jada Bharata. And what is the essence of all essence also you have explained. Absorbing oneself in Krishna conscious, Manmana Mad Bhakto Mad Yaji, Mam Namaskuru. Like that, the essence also you have quoted my Mataji. And we are seeking today your lecture and eagerly seeking. Thank you very much.
Hari Bol Mataji. Thank you so much for covering everything that we have discussed yesterday. So very nice summarization. So we'll get started with chapter 10. So I am not revising again because Mataji has given a detailed recap of yesterday's session. So today we are going to talk about the essence of essence. So there are 4 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita which talks about the essence of Bhagavad Gita, that are 10.8 to 10.11. We are going to discuss about that. And these 4 shlokas are also known as Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So when we say the essence of Bhagavad Gita, it's a Bhakti Yoga, which is in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, the 6 chapters in the middle of Bhagavad Gita. So, and within that 6 chapters, we have 4 shlokas, which are the essence of the essence. So we are going to discuss about those shlokas today. And today's acronym is here. And the first letter stands for H, hearing. Hearing is Krishna asks Arjuna to hear carefully. So he's going to tell something more important. So he's asking Arjuna to hear. And he talks about the essence of Gita, as I told, Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, 10.8 to 10.11. And Arjuna accepts what Krishna says. And Krishna also reveals further knowledge. So this is what we are going to discuss today. So we'll get started with the hearing. So Krishna reveals the most confidential knowledge, and he declares, I think this is the first section. It's about hearing carefully. So why is he asking Arjuna to hear carefully again? Means because hearing is the first and foremost and the essential part of the spiritual life. So in Bhakti, hearing comes the first. So according to Prahlad Maharaj also, we had discussed about 9 limbs of Bhakti, if you remember. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 limbs of Bhakti. Out of that, the first and foremost is hearing. So Krishna is asking Arjuna again to hear attentively. So just like a student can't learn unless they listen attentively to the teacher, right? Similarly, spiritual knowledge.
Oh,
Similarly, spiritual knowledge begins by hearing from the right source. Right source is Krishna or his pure devotees. So that is the right source. We also discussed about disciplic succession and parampara system, right? So we should hear from disciplic succession and parampara system. So if you look back, the origin should be Krishna. So it means you should either hear from Krishna or his pure devotees. So 10.1, Krishna tells Arjuna, listen to me because you are my dear friends. He always mentions he's a dear friend, he is non-envious, right? That's most important that we need to remember. So I'll tell you something very confidential. You listen to me attentively is what Krishna says. This shows that Krishna speaks when we approach him with humility and friendship. So hearing with the right attitude, it builds firm faith. So we need to hear with right attitude. So think of a child who trusts his mother completely, right? If she says don't touch the fire, he obeys and do not ask any questions because he has faith in his mother. So same way Krishna wants Arjuna and all of us through Arjuna to have that kind of trust in his words. Whatever he's saying, we should have that kind of trust. So that's what he mentions in 10.1. 10.2, Krishna says that even great sages don't fully understand his origin because he is the source of everything, right? So that's the origin. So even great sages, they will not be able to understand is what Krishna says. This teaches us that Krishna's mercy is essential. So we can't understand him just by study of logic. He reveals himself to only devotees. So that's we need to understand. It's not just we cannot read a lot about a book and understand. We cannot directly go through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and understand by ourselves. So we need to hear from authority and we need to hear from authority, then only Krishna will be giving that mercy to reveal himself. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand. So you might read a lot about a celebrity, right, in magazines or any newspapers or somewhere. But unless they invite you personally, you will not be able to understand who they really are. Similarly, Krishna reveals himself only to his devotees who sincerely serve and hear about him. So that's what Krishna says in 10.2. 10.3, Krishna says that those who know him as the unborn and beginningless, Krishna is unborn. He is the beginning and he doesn't have any end. So he is the origin, he is the seed giving father of everybody. But in materially, we see that, okay, who is your father and whose father is his father, whose father is his father. If you want to go back, it will stop at Krishna. So Krishna, because Krishna is God, he doesn't have father. So we should not ask who is Krishna's father. So we should not think materially. The spiritual, we need to have that spiritual lens. So why is Krishna called as God? Because he doesn't have any father. He is the source of everything. He is unborn and he is beginningless. And who accept him as the supreme, they are freed from all the sins, is what Krishna says in 10.3. So this is a powerful benefit of hearing about Krishna with faith, with firm faith. So if you have faith, it purifies your heart. Then only you'll be able to understand Krishna. So just like cleaning dirty clothes requires water and soap, right? Our hearts also get uh, cleansed by regularly hearing of Krishna's words from Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So 10.4 to 5, Krishna lists different qualities like intelligence, truthfulness, fearfulness, even negative ones like anger, all come from Krishna. So Krishna is saying, don't just label qualities as good or bad. Understand their origin and how they can be used in Krishna's service. So everything good or bad coming from Krishna is what Krishna says here. So for example, anger, for instance, it is a bad quality. So when used for revenge, but it can be great when you use it like Hanuman has used it. Hanuman used his anger to burn Lanka in the service of Lord Rama, right? So anger can be used like that. So because it is also coming from Krishna, if you use it in right service, then that is also good. So Krishna is the source of all energies, and we should learn how to use them in his service. So hearing attentively from bona fide sources is important. Just like Arjuna, we too also should become good listeners if we want to understand Krishna and experience real peace and freedom in life. And next, Krishna talks about firm devotion comes from true understanding. So hearing attentively is what we have learned. Now Krishna is saying firm devotion usually comes from true understanding. After listening, you will have that understanding. If you don't hear, you will not understand it. So after hearing, that's why Krishna said Arjuna to hear attentively. So when he hears attentively, he will understand. So once he has that understanding, then firm devotion comes from that understanding. Krishna is saying one who factually convinced of this opulence. So Krishna says about opulence here. Anyone has any idea about opulence? Anyone heard of it before?
Uh, Hare Krishna Mataji. Krishna has 9 opulences or
Six opulences.
6 opulences.
Yeah,
Six months.
we discussed about it. Good Mataji, you remember. So he says, Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tatvatah so avikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayah. Anybody would like to quickly read this purport, the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Yeah.
One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is saying one who really, truthfully, factually convinced of his opulence, Krishna's opulence and mystic power, then they will engage in unalloyed, that is pure devotional service. So there is no doubt about it, is what Krishna says. So, but what is opulence? The word opulence means great wealth, great power, great beauty. So Krishna has 6 opulences that we discussed, right? So these are all majestic qualities. They, when you say Krishna is beautiful, Krishna is completely beautiful. He's attractive. There is nobody equal or greater than him. So that means he has that opulence. So Krishna is he's wealthy. It means everything in this world, beyond the world, material, spiritual, everything belongs to him. So that means there is nobody equal or greater than him in wealth also. So that is called opulence. In spiritual terms, especially in the Bhagavad Gita, so this chapter name is also known as Vibhuti Yoga. So opulence is nothing but Vibhuti in Sanskrit. So Vibhuti Yoga, it refers to Krishna's extraordinary qualities and energies that shows his greatness. So we need to understand it that way. Krishna says in 10.4 to 5 and throughout the chapter that everything wonderful, everything powerful, and everything which is beautiful or glorious we see in this world comes from Krishna. So these are called his opulences. Anything that is beautiful, powerful, glorious, wonderful, everything is coming from Krishna. So Krishna also has given examples of his opulence in this world. So among lights, he says, I am the sun. So Krishna is the most powerful source of light. So Krishna gives that source to sun also. So now we know that if sun is there, we don't need any light, right? So you cannot you do not need any light if you are under the sun. Like heat also is produced by sun. So Krishna is the most powerful source of that light. And among mountains, he says, I am the Himalayas. The tallest, most majestic mountain is a reflection of his greatness. So when you see Himalayas, you should remember Krishna. So you should not be thinking about how Himalayas, how great it is, how tall it is, how there is a lot of greenery, lushy greenery it has, etc. It has lot of herbs in it, etc. You don't need to think about Himalayas greatness, but you think about the creator's greatness. The Himalayas is created by Krishna, and the source of everything that is getting to Himalaya mountains is Krishna's greatness. We should remember in that way. So among rivers, he says, I am the Ganga. The holiest river is a manifestation of his purity, Krishna's purity. And he also says, among warriors, I am Arjuna. Even Arjuna's strength comes from Krishna. And among animals, I am the lion. So this lion is usually fearless, right? So this fearlessness is lion's power, and that power is coming from Krishna. We should understand that. But why Krishna shows his opulences? Not to show off, but to help us. Why is he saying all these opulences are mine? Because we need to recognize his presence everywhere, and we need to develop that love for him. We need to understand that Krishna is the source of everything. That's why he's saying all these opulences are mine. But how a devotee sees is instead of being proud or envious of greatness in this world, a devotee sees it and thinks, okay, whenever he sees anything great, he sees, okay, this is Krishna's opulence. This mindset helps the devotee always connected to Krishna. So that's why Krishna is all pervading. When we say all pervading, this is the example. So whenever you see anything great, anything extraordinary, you should remember Krishna, and you should think that everything is coming from him. The strength or intelligence or greatness or wealth or power, beauty, everything is coming from Krishna. So when you see any skillful or talented person or any beautiful person, you should remember that this beauty, everything is coming from Krishna. So opulence means Krishna's divine qualities and the best of everything in creation. So recognizing this helps us to love and remember Krishna. So now that we will discuss about the meaning of this shloka, so he's saying this means realizing that Krishna is not an ordinary person, but the source of everything. All intelligence, beauty, strength, everything originates from Krishna. If you meet someone who invented the internet, you wouldn't treat them like a random person, right? The same way, if you know that Krishna is the source of everything material, spiritual, we should have that great respect. In the same way, when we realize Krishna is the source of all creation, then our attitude towards Krishna will change. Then we start realizing that knowledge and start performing devotional service. So if you really understand who Krishna is, not theoretically, but truthfully, then you won't be able to stop yourself from serving Krishna with love. So that's the meaning of this shloka. So let's move on to attributes of faith. So Krishna is talking about attributes of faith. Let us try to understand what is the attribute of faith. So faith is the foundation of bhakti. So without faith, there is no beginning to spiritual life. So in this section, Krishna is asking Arjuna and all of us to build deep trust in him. So let's look at 4 key attributes of faith in Krishna that we can relate to in our daily life. The first one is faith in Krishna's existence. Just look around the amazing design of the universe, how everything functions with with order and beauty, from galaxies to tiny atoms, then this itself a proof that there is a supreme power behind, right? There's a supreme intelligent being behind, and who is the creator. We should be understanding who is the creator of all creations. That is Krishna. We should understand that. So, example, just like we know that a working watch must have a watchmaker behind it, the universe too points towards a divine designer who is Krishna. And faith in Krishna's relevance. Krishna is not just someone who lived long ago. He is not a historical person. He is eternally relevant. He is the cause of all causes, and he sustains everything right now, including our very breath. Example, like a phone needs a network to work, right? You don't have, yesterday we discussed about a smartphone which doesn't have a mobile data or internet Wi-Fi connection. It is useless, right? So we are all dependent on Krishna as the cosmic provider. So faith means knowing he is actively taking care of us, even if we don't always see him. So that is something we need to have, that faith. That's why Krishna is also saying, you don't need to see me as a personal form. He says, you see me everywhere, which is great in this world. You take it as it's my energy. I am the source of that. And the third thing is faith in Krishna's benevolence. Benevolence is kindness. So Krishna is not just powerful, he is also extremely kind and compassionate. So the more we try to understand him sincerely, the more he responds. Yesterday we discussed about his reciprocation also. He's just waiting for us to take that one step so that he can take 100 steps towards us. So, like a loving parent always watching over their child, right? Krishna wants to guide and protect us the same way. And he waits until we open our hearts, and then he takes more steps towards us. And the fourth one is faith in Krishna's intelligence. Krishna's plans are always better than ours. Even when we can't understand them at the moment, his intelligence is perfect. And sometimes delays or detours in life are also his protection for us. We need to take everything in positive way. Example, sometimes we pray for something and it doesn't happen, but later we realize Krishna saved us from something we didn't see coming, right? So in the same way, faith means trusting his plan over ours, because he is the intelligent of intelligence, right? So when you see an intelligent man, the intelligence is coming from Krishna. So he has the entire intelligence is with Krishna. So if you have a plan, and Krishna's plan is always better than your plan. So when he has a different plan for you, accept it and move on, so that it is good for your life and your spiritual life. So think in that way. So having faith in Krishna means believing he exists, and he matters in our life, and he is kind, and he knows the best for us. So these are the four things that we need to think about when it comes to faith. And now, Krishna, so now that we have completed this hearing section, let us see what are the lessons that we need to look into. Attentive hearing leads to steady devotion. That's what we discussed, right? When you understand, then your understanding leads to bhakti. So Krishna tells Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, I'll tell you something very important. Just hear carefully. That is what first shloka talks about. And this teaches us that more we hear Krishna's words with attention and faith, the more our devotion becomes strong and steady. Just like a plant grows by regular watering, our bhakti also should grow regularly by hearing about Krishna. So the water is important for plant growth, and for our bhakti growth, hearing about Krishna is very important. Hearing from Bhagavad-gita, hearing from Shrimad Bhagavatam, they are the key to spiritual advancement. And the second point is understanding Krishna requires his blessing. So Krishna says even the great sages cannot fully understand him unless he reveals himself. So what is required? Bhakti is required, faith is required. And like needing a light to see in a dark room, we need Krishna's mercy. To truly understand Gita and his nature, we need to hear, and we need to have faith also. That mercy comes when we approach him with the devotion. Devotion is the key for understanding. And the third thing is contact with Bhagavad Gita and devotees is a great fortune. So Krishna explains that someone who knows Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and after knowing and understanding, they engage in devotional service, they will be freed from all the sins. This means that coming in contact with Bhagavad Gita and associating with devotees is not ordinary. It's a rare and priceless opportunity. So we might have got this opportunity, we should not take it light. It is very valuable, it is very rare. Just like touching a live wire gives electricity, right? And touching the Bhagavad Gita with the right attitude gives spiritual power. Being around devotees and discussing about Krishna is like being charged with divine energy. So the key lessons that we take away from this section are: hear attentively, pray for Krishna's mercy, and treasure the association of Bhagavad Gita and devotees. So now we have come to a section of Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, the heart of the Bhagavad Gita. These four verses, 10.8 to 10.11, summarizes the entire message of the Bhagavad Gita. And it also reveals the essence of Krishna consciousness, essence of Bhagavad Gita. So let us see what are the points here. So what is the result of knowing Krishna's opulence? Krishna has talked about his opulences. And what is the result of knowing Krishna's opulences? And what is pure devotion, and to whom Krishna gives intelligence to attain Krishna, and how to come out of ignorance. So he explains these four things in these four slokas. So let us see this eighth sloka. I would like you also to recite after me. We will recite, I'll tell one sentence and you recite after me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo
Aham sarvasya prabhavo
mattah sarvam pravartate
Mattah sarvam
mata sarva
pravartati
pravartate
iti matva bhajante mam
iti
iti
matva
matva bhajante mam
बुधा भाव समन्विताः.
buddha bhava samandita.
Can someone read the translation real quick?
I'll read
Hare
Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Bindu Mataji, go ahead.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So just like the sun is the source of all light and energy on earth, Krishna is the source of all living beings, knowledge, nature, and even demigods. So a person who realizes this naturally wants to serve Krishna with love. Just like a child who loves and runs towards their mother when they realize she is the only one taking care of that child, right? So that same way Krishna says, I am the source of everything. Everything comes from me. And the wise person who knows this, then after understanding this, after hearing this, understanding this, they will start worshipping Krishna with love. So that's what Krishna says. And this is the foundation of bhakti. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, not just a historical figure. Understanding this brings devotion. So this eighth shloka says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. It means I am the source of everything. Everything comes from me. And whoever is intelligent, they will understand. They will hear and they will understand. Not everybody comes and listens Bhagavad Gita. Only wise people can take up with reading Bhagavad Gita or hearing Bhagavad Gita. So those wise people, then they will understand, they hear, understand, and they start worshipping Krishna with love. So that's the meaning of this shloka. So let us see the next shloka. We will recite this shloka also. Machitta madgata prana
Machitta madgata prana
bodhayantah parasparam
bodhayanta parasparam
katayantascha mam nityam
katayantasya mam nityam
tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
dusyanti cha ramanti cha.
So meaning of this shloka is those who love Krishna always think about him, and they always talk about him, and they rejoice in speaking about him. They enjoy speaking about him. Just like two cricket fans who always talk about their favorite team or favorite team players, right? Or a couple in love always think of each other. Devotees are always absorbed in Krishna. So the same way, the subject matter is important, right? Cricket fans, they always speak about cricket. Politicians or few people who are interested in politics, they when they meet, they always talk about politics. And if they are a couple who are in loving relationship with each other, they always think of each other, right? They always think of each other, try to talk about each other, etc. The same way, devotees are always absorbed in Krishna. They always chant, discussing Krishna's pastimes and reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam together, etc. They associate with each other, glorify Krishna, and derive joy from that bhakti, not from material pleasures. That way we have satsanga, kirtan, and going to temples and reading Bhagavad Gita or hearing Bhagavad Gita classes. So these are the things that they will do. That's what Krishna says. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. They always think of me. The thoughts are always in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. So whatever they do it as a service to Krishna, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss. So by doing so, they derive great satisfaction and bliss, and they also enlighten one another. How? Conversing about Krishna. So let's move on to the next shloka. Tesham satata yuktanam
Isham
सततयुक्तानां
bhajatam priti purvakam
Bhajatam Priti Purvakam
dadami buddhi yogam tam
Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam
yena mamupayanti te.
Yena Mamupayanti Te.
Can someone read the translation? Okay, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So now that Krishna says, whoever understand he's the source of everything, they start doing bhakti. So when they start doing bhakti, what do? They kind of gather together and they talk about Krishna. They keep Krishna in the center of every activity that they do, and they derive great satisfaction also. That's what Krishna said. So now that for such kind of devotees, what happens? Who always worship Krishna with love, he says those kind of devotees, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. It means they will be promoted to spiritual planets where they eternally live happily with Krishna. So if a student is sincerely trying to learn, even the student is not intelligent enough, teacher tries to personally help them. Similarly, Krishna guides sincere devotees. You don't need to be a scholar, you don't need to be an intelligent. We discussed about all the backgrounds yesterday. So you need to have a sincerity. That's the only thing we need to understand here. And Krishna gives spiritual intelligence to devotees to advance in bhakti. That intelligence also is given by Krishna, and he helps us overcome doubts, and he helps us find the answers and make spiritual progress. This is why we say Krishna is not far. He is in our heart as Paramatma. He watches, he guides us from within, etc. So for such kind of devotees who worship Krishna with love, he gives that understanding. With that understanding, they will progress spiritually, and by clearing their hearts, they will reach Vaikuntha planets and they stay eternally with Krishna. So that's the meaning of this shloka. And let us read the last shloka. तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम्
Tesham Evanukampatam
अहमज्ञानजं तमः
अहम्
Aham Ajnanajam
अज्ञानमचिन्तः
Tamaham
नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तो
नाशयामि
Dasayami Atma Bhavasto
ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता.
Jnana Deepena Bhasvata.
So to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Krishna is saying, out of mercy, I destroy the darkness in their heart with the lamp of knowledge. Imagine being lost in a dark room. A friend brings a torch and shows the way out. Similarly, Krishna removes all the ignorance from the devotee's heart and shows the way towards Vaikuntha planets where he resides. So this verse shows Krishna's personal care. So when we surrender, Krishna removes our confusions, anarthas, bad qualities, and reveals the truth. That's why chanting, reading scriptures, and associating with devotees are very powerful. So we need to understand that. So in these four shlokas, Krishna says Krishna is the source of everything, like the root of a tree or the sun in the sky, etc. And devotees have to talk and think about Krishna, just like fans obsessed with their favorite hero or favorite cricketer, etc. And Krishna helps his devotees personally, guiding them like a GPS from within, like a super soul within. He guides from within. And Krishna removes the darkness in our life with the light of true knowledge. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So you have to know about Krishna, hear about Krishna, then you will have understanding of Krishna. Then you will start devotional service towards Krishna. Once you start the devotional service, there will be a lot of obstacles, but those obstacles will be removed by Krishna. And whoever is doing a devotional service with love, Krishna gives that knowledge for them to reach him. and he also helps in removing the darkness of ignorance from their hearts, so that they are clearly know the path of where they are going. Where they are aspiring to go to spiritual planets with the devotional service, they will be reaching Krishna, and he will guide from within, and he will remove that darkness. He will give that light to overcome that darkness in the hearts. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So these are the four shlokas you can also recite and understand after this class. You can read regularly, maybe if not every day. It is good if you can read every day, but if not, maybe once in a week you read all these four shlokas so that you understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So now we are moving on to the next section. So 3 O's to progress in bhakti. So if you want to grow in devotion, we don't need complicated qualifications. Krishna has made it simple and accessible for everyone. So these are the 3 O's. The first one is only goal of life is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The ultimate goal of life is not money, fame, or even comforts, luxuries in life, etc. It's Krishna. He is the root of all existence and the one person who can truly satisfy our heart. Just like watering the root nourishes the whole tree, when we focus our life on Krishna, everything else falls into place. Like if you water the roots, then every branch, leaf, everything will be taken care well, right? The same way, when we focus our life on Krishna, everything else falls into place. And the second thing is only qualification required is sincerity in devotional service. So you don't need to be rich, scholarly, or born in a special family, etc. Krishna only looks for one thing, that's a sincere heart. Prabhupada always says, even a little service done sincerely, that will attract Krishna's attention. So when you are sweeping the temple floor or chanting one round of japa with focus, it also counts. Krishna will count that as well. And the third O is only expectation to fulfill is do some work for Krishna with love. Krishna doesn't demand perfection. He simply wants us to do something for him with love. So if you are cooking, cook for Krishna. If you are singing, sing for Krishna. If you are preaching, preach for Krishna. If you are drawing, draw for Krishna. It means whatever you draw, you offer the result to Krishna. And if you are managing, manage for Krishna. If you are cleaning, clean for Krishna. Whatever you do it as an offering, like a child offering a flower to their parents, right? For example, there is a Mother's Day, Father's Day. The child goes with a small flower also, they will be very happy. They feel it as a very grand because they're doing it with love. Even if you give a car or any expensive gift also, they will not be enjoying if there is no love in it. The parents also expect love from the children. The same way Krishna also expects love from us. So, but the love behind it makes it very valuable. Krishna also feels the same. We need to understand that. And so to grow in bhakti, just remember these 3 O's. Only goal is Krishna. Only qualification is sincerity. Only expectation is loving service. It is that simple. That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It's open to all, and Krishna is waiting with open arms. So let's take even one small step today, and Krishna will help us take 100 more. And he comes forward, takes 1,000 steps. If we take one step towards him, and he takes 1,000 steps towards us. So these are the 3 O's we need to remember. And this ends the section 2. And in section 2, what did we learn? If one wants to progress in Krishna consciousness, then one should not consider Krishna and his name as ordinary. So Krishna is not ordinary, and his name is also not ordinary. Krishna is not, his holy name is not just a sound. So when we utter Krishna, it's not just a sound. According to Acharyas, Krishna and his name are non-different. When you chant Hare Krishna, you are associating with Krishna directly. So Krishna and his name are non-different. Don't think materially. If you try to think materially, we will not be able to correlate. Think spiritually, then you will understand Krishna and his name are non-different. When you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are associating with Krishna directly. That's the one thing we need to remember. So imagine someone gives you an ice cube. It may look small, but it contains the power of gold. Similarly, the name Krishna contains all the power of Krishna, all the power, all the mercy of Krishna, and also you can feel the presence of Krishna. So if you chant attentively, you will be able to understand Krishna and Krishna's name of the Krishna are non-different. So when we chant, we should not treat it like any other word or sound. It's spiritual sound vibration, and with faith you have to chant, and then you will be purified and you will understand the real knowledge very well. And lesson number 2 that we learned is devotees don't waste time in mundane things. Rather, they utilize their time in hearing and conversing about Krishna. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. That's what we discussed, right? True devotees enjoy spiritual conversations. They don't enjoy gossips, politics, material talks. Ultimately, what do they give you? They give you they disturb your mind. You will not get any positivity out of it. You might enjoy during that period of time, but later on your mind will be contaminated, and your thoughts will be contaminated, and your actions will be contaminated. So do not go into gossips, politics, or material talks. Just discuss about Krishna and enjoy spiritual conversations. So talk about Krishna's pastimes, understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and glories of devotees, etc., because it brings them joy and connection to Krishna. So those are the things that we need to do. Just like cricket fans talk excitedly about their favorite players, right, or their players' innings. Devotees also the same way gets excited talking about Krishna because they understand Krishna. When you hear about Krishna, you will understand Krishna. If you understand Krishna with bhakti, then Krishna will give you mercy to understand him more clearly. And devotees usually talk about Krishna stealing butter pastimes and lifting over the hill pastimes, lot of pastimes that he has performed in Vrindavan, right? So they discuss about all of that, and that gives guidance in understanding Gita also. It becomes their favorite topic, and they like conversating about Krishna. This habit purifies the heart and builds real spiritual friendships, not only with devotees, but we'll also be building friendship with Krishna. The third lesson that we have learned is one should be sincere and should perform some kind of work for Krishna with love. So that we need to remember. We have to do it with love. Krishna helps those who are genuinely trying. Even if you are not perfect, that's fine. If you are not sincere, if you are sincere, that should be the only ingredient that you need to have. And if you are sincere and you do some service for Krishna, like cooking, cleaning temple, sharing the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, or chanting, everything counts. Krishna gives you more and more understanding when you take that first step. So treat Krishna and his name with deep respect. They are divine. And choose Krishna centered conversations. They uplift your mind. And do some seva for Krishna with love. Whatever activities you do, you spiritualize those activities as an offering to Krishna, even if it is small, it will transform your life. So these are the key learnings of the section 2. Let us move on to section 3 is accept. So Arjuna asks questions. So after knowing everything from hearing from Krishna, Arjuna has questions. Arjuna is asking, describe your opulence, and how shall I think of you always, and how shall I know about you? So these are the three questions Arjuna asks. So let us see how Krishna is answering. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, please tell me about your divine powers and how you are present in the universe. Like a student asking the teacher, please explain your qualifications. You seem to be so intelligent. What did you study? What is your qualification? And so that he can understand how great that teacher is, right? Same way Arjuna is trying to understand Krishna's unlimited nature, so he can appreciate Krishna deeply. And how shall I think of you is Arjuna is asking, how can I always remember you, Krishna, in my daily life? Like we keep a photo of a loved one or on our desk, right? Our kids' pictures in on the office desk, etc., or in the phone mobile as a wallpaper. Arjuna wants to know in which forms and qualities should I think of you, Krishna. So this is bhakti in action, remembering Krishna through his glories. And how can in activities how can you remember Krishna? And Arjuna's third question is, how shall I love you? How shall I know you? Arjuna is asking, please explain how can I know you completely, not just in theory, but realize you personally. So it's like someone reading about a person online, but wanting to meet and truly know their heart. So Arjuna is not satisfied with bookish knowledge. He wants real connection with Krishna. So Arjuna accepts Krishna not just emotionally, but intellectually and spiritually also as a supreme Lord. So he doesn't ask these questions out of doubt. We need to differentiate that those two things, right? Is he asking out of doubt or is he asking out of devotion? So we need to understand that he's not asking out of doubt. Arjuna is asking out of devotion. so he can glorify Krishna more deeply and never forget him. Like the student asks to teacher about his qualification, right? It doesn't mean that he has a doubt whether the teacher has studied MPhil or MTech, etc. It's not about doubt. He wants to glorify the teacher. So I know one teacher, he has done this kind of degrees and he's extremely knowledgeable. He explains well, etc. Right? So he glorifies later. The same way, Arjuna is also wanting to glorify Krishna more deeply and never forget Krishna. So this also inspires us to learn about Krishna's glories, nothing but opulences, vibhutis, and remember Krishna in all aspects of life and try to know and love Krishna personally through chanting, hearing, and doing some service. So Arjuna wants to go a little bit more deeper now. So what leads to the transformation of our heart and mind? Arjuna asks this question. So you are the supreme lord, the origin of everything, but real transformation begins when we accept Krishna as he is, not just a character form from a book or but we should understand he is our eternal lord and he is our eternal friend. So that we have to remember, just like we trust a doctor completely when we accept him as an expert, right? You follow his instructions. If he asks you to go for a surgery, you will immediately accept, okay, this is good for me, I will come for surgery as per the mentioned date, etc. Right? The same way, when we accept Krishna as the supreme, our thinking and behavior change. So that is the spiritual transformation. How to make Krishna the center of your life, center of our lives? So 10.13 Krishna explains about it. Great souls, Arjuna is saying great souls like Narada, Asita, Vyasa, they already have declared Krishna as the source of everything. Arjuna is confirming that. I've also heard from Narada, I've also heard from or read from scriptures that everybody, great souls like Narada, Asita, Vyasa, everybody declared Krishna as the source of everything. So making Krishna the center means offering him your thoughts, your actions, your work, your family, even worries also you can offer to Krishna. So think of your home. If the kitchen is the center, the whole house smells of the food, right, that you prepare. Similarly, when Krishna is the center of your life, everything becomes spiritually fragrant. Your work, relationships, decisions, everything becomes spiritually fragrant. You will start enjoying. The same thing happens before bhakti, after bhakti, but the way that you deal with those things will completely transform, will completely change your life. So we have to follow the footsteps of Arjuna. 10.14 shloka talks about it. Arjuna says, I accept everything you say as truth, is what Arjuna says to Krishna. He's the perfect example of a surrendered soul. He's very humble and curious to know more, and he's also faithful of what Krishna is saying. So just like students follow a top student, right? There's a top student, and other students will blindly follow that student because he anyway scores best. So other people, other students, they want to follow the top student so that they can learn best practices easily. That top student might have learned it in 10 days, they will learn in 1 day because they will not be able to spend more time, right? So they follow the top student and they follow his study pattern to succeed. We should also follow Arjuna's attitude because he is a unalloyed devotee of Krishna. We can blindly follow Arjuna's footsteps, and we follow Arjuna's attitude, and we follow how Arjuna is asking questions, and how Arjuna is deepening his bhakti towards Krishna. So we can learn from Arjuna. And fourth thing is bhakti is joyful and fruitful. 10.18 talks about it. Arjuna is saying, I am never satisfied hearing about you, Krishna. This is the real taste of bhakti. He is not satisfied. He wants to hear more because it is joyful and fulfilling. It's not dry or forced. There are stories in Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, Prudu Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj. There are so many devotee stories are there. You will never be satiated by hearing those stories. You want to hear more and more. The same story you hear 100 times, one not one time also you will enjoy it. So if you see any movie, material movie, will you enjoy 100 times, 200 times? There is a limit, right? Because that is material. But spiritual things, you hear more, you enjoy more, even it is the same thing. So that's the difference. Like kids watching their favorite cartoon episodes again and again, but there is always a limit. So after a few years, when they grow up, they lose interest. But even for a hit movie also, they might watch 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, but they will get bored after that. But spirituality is not like that. You will never get bored of hearing about Krishna, chanting, or hearing about his glories. There will not be any boredom there. So the takeaway is accept Krishna like Arjuna has accepted, with faith and with complete heart, and make Krishna the center of your daily life, and follow Arjuna's mood of humility and eagerness to know more. He's asking Krishna, reveal more. Experience the real joy of bhakti, not from rituals alone, but from loving remembrance of Krishna. So the love has to be there for everything that you do. So why Arjuna is asking questions? Arjuna might be, he's already a devotee. Why is he asking such questions? We also get this doubt, right? Through Arjuna already knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but still he asks questions. Why is he asking? For common people, so that everyone can hear about Krishna's opulence. Arjuna knows that Bhagavad Gita is eternal wisdom. He asks questions so that even future generations, people like us, can learn about Krishna's greatness and not think of him as just another ordinary person. Just like a journalist asks questions on behalf of the public, right, in a press meet, Arjuna is also asking on behalf of all the humanity. And for the devotees who taste the nectar, so that devotees can relish Krishna's sweet pastimes and qualities. Devotees enjoy hearing about Krishna's qualities, his strength, beauty, compassion, and pastimes. These are not just stories, they are the nectar of the soul. Soul enjoys hearing about Krishna. Like how children love listening to the same bedtime story again and again, right? When once you have this habit of bedtime stories with children, they ask you one particular story again and again. Same way, devotees never tire of Krishna Katha. Arjuna is helping to keep that nectar flowing. That's why he's asking these questions. And also for personal absorption, so that one can remember Krishna at the time of death. Krishna says in 8.5, if you remember, whoever remembers me at the time of death comes to me. So Arjuna is showing how to absorb the mind in Krishna's glories, which is the highest success in life. So, like preparing well for the final exam helps you pass. Meditating on Krishna's opulences daily prepares us for the final moment. So, if you are able to see Krishna all around, all pervading with everything that you see, then it's easier for you to remember at the time of death. So Srila Prabhupada also emphasizes that Arjuna's questions are not out of ignorance, but out of devotional service. His curiosity is giving us the chance to hear directly from Krishna and increase our faith, knowledge, and also love for Krishna. So Arjuna asks questions for our benefit, so we can hear, think of, and love Krishna. So hearing Krishna's glories is not a ritual that we need to remember. It is the way to fall in love with Krishna and prepare for our eternal life. So let's follow Arjuna's footsteps by hearing attentively and asking with humility. So let's move on to the. This is the third section. I think we already covered it, and the last section of this chapter is reveal. So Krishna reveals his glories. How to see.
Please play that previous slide, section 3. Yeah.
This we already discussed, right? I just skipped. So now Krishna reveals his glories. This is the last section of this chapter. How to see God in the world. And 10.19 to 42, Krishna talks about it. Krishna is answering Arjuna's questions. How can I always remember you, Krishna? So Krishna explains his divine manifestations and how do we see him in the world, even with our limited senses. The first thing is not possible to understand Krishna's greatness by our limited senses. Our senses are very limited, right? We cannot see the minute particles. We need microscope, or we cannot see the biggest things. Our senses are limited. Krishna says, and even hearing also, there are certain decibels only you will hear. Later on, you will not be able to hear. So Krishna says, there is no end to my opulences. Even if we try to list them, we could never fully grasp his greatness. Trying to measure the ocean with a small cup, is it possible? No, right? Our senses and minds are also tiny like that. But Krishna mercifully reveals just a few of his glorious features so we can understand him a little and feel inspired. So Krishna resides in our heart. 10.20, Krishna says, I am the super soul seated in everyone's heart. So he is not far away. He is within us, watching, guiding, and waiting for our love. So we need to remember Krishna is always with us as a super soul. So like a mother quietly watching her child playing from a distance, right? Krishna is also present in our hearts, giving remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And everything opulent, beautiful, and powerful is a spark of Krishna. If you see something extraordinary, a brilliant leader, a graceful dancer, a powerful animal, or a beautiful sunrise, this is just a tiny spark of Krishna's energy. You need to remember that. Just as the sun rays comes from the sun, all greatness and beauty in this world reflect Krishna's original greatness. So we can remember Krishna everywhere, not just in temples, but in all amazing things that we see around us. So don't limit God to a statue, or he stays only in the temple, etc., right? So we should not be doing that. Krishna is everywhere and his glories are unlimited. By seeing his opulences in the world, we can remember and love him. The purpose is not just to admire creation, but to connect it back to Krishna. That's very important. So but we always admire the nature, admire great things, right? So we should not stop there. We should admire and connect it back to Krishna. So why are we admiring? So you look at a drawing, somebody has drawn a very nice picture, and you admire that picture, and later on you will inquire about who has drawn it, right? So the same way, we should understand, we should not just stop admiring creation, but we have to connect it back to Krishna. So that's important. And it's hard to meditate on an unseen God, right? Krishna makes it easy by saying, see me in the Himalayas, see me in the lion, see me in the Ganges, see me in the moon, see me in the mind, the sound in ether, and taste in water, everything that he has told, right? So you can remember Krishna even if you see small things. This leads to constant remembrance, that is smarana. Even while living in the material world, we can make all our activities spiritualized in this way by remembering Krishna, by offering everything to Krishna. So now Krishna is saying some special representations. So he's saying Maharshinam Briguraham Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam Yagnanam Yagnosmi Stavaranam Himalayah. Of the great sages, I am the Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. So Krishna says, how can you remember more? So, a great sage like Bhrugumuni, right? He says, I am the Bhrugumuni. Bhrugumuni is one of the most prominent sages in the Vedic tradition. So, Krishna is saying that when you think of powerful, wise people, think of Krishna, because this wisdom is coming from him. It is originating from Krishna. If you see someone full of spiritual wisdom, even now, if you see great acharyas, you should think about Krishna. This intelligence of that particular acharya is a spark of Krishna that's coming from Krishna. And he says, of sounds, I am Omkara. Om is the first and purest spiritual sound representing Krishna. So all mantras begin with Om, right? Because it is a source sound vibration full of divine potency. Even if you do yoga asanas also, they ask us to utter Omkara for 5 times so that you will get that spiritual vibrations within your body. So just like a company logo represents everything the company stands for, Om represents Krishna's presence in every sound. That's the reason why every mantra will start with Om. And he says, of sacrifices, I am Japa. Krishna says, among all kinds of yagnas, fire sacrifices, rituals, the best and most recommended in Kali Yuga is Sankirtana Yagna, which is chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada also says, Japa is the heart of bhakti. It purifies our consciousness and connects us directly to Krishna. And he also says, of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. The Himalayas are the tallest, strongest, and most majestic mountains on earth. So, representing Krishna's unshakable, inspiring nature. And when we see something massive and unmoving, it reminds us of Krishna's stability, strength, and grandeur. We should remember that. So, Krishna is not far. He reveals himself through things around us. Every time we chant Japa or see Omkara, we hear Om with so many mantras. When we should be thinking that we are interacting with Krishna's energy. Even ordinary activities become spiritual when we connect to Krishna's vibhutis, Krishna's opulences. Okay, this great strength is coming from Krishna. This beauty is coming from Krishna. This taste is coming from Krishna. If you think in that way, your ordinary activities will also be spiritualized. It is just that mood and intention is what you need to add for all the activities. So Krishna is explaining further, recognizing Krishna in the world around us. Krishna is out of his compassion, gives us daily reminders of his presence through extraordinary things in this world. Among many things, I am best of each category, is what Krishna says. When you see them, think of Krishna. So mind, so if you have senses, we all have senses, right? Of all the senses, gross and subtle, mind is the greatest. So he says, of course intelligence is greater than mind, but of all the physical gross senses, mind is the greatest, because if you have to have that mind to eat. Your mind only instructs you to eat, to pick it up, to see something beautiful, etc., right? The mind is fast, subtle and powerful. And Krishna says, out of the senses, among the senses, I am the mind. So we can't control our own mind sometimes. Imagine how Krishna, as the master of mind, is even more powerful. He's the controller of even the controllers. That we need to remember. And he also says, I am the life of all that lives. He's the life force, the energy that keeps everything alive, for humans, animals, trees. That is Krishna himself. So when we breathe, when we walk or think, it's Krishna's energy enabling it. We are not alive by our own power. Krishna is giving that power for us. And among bodies of water, I am the ocean. The ocean is vast, deep, and beyond control, just like Krishna's opulences and mercy are also like ocean. When you stand in front of a sea and feel small, remember that Krishna is even greater than that. He is the origin of all that majesty. And he says, among animals, I am the lion. Lion is powerful, fearless, and commands respect. Just like Krishna, the supreme king, he is also like lion. When we see strength or leadership or anything similar, we remember that all that strength originates in Krishna, just like the spark comes from fire. So Krishna does not ask us to go to a forest or cave. He says, see me around you and within you as a super soul, around you as all the best things around you. If we learn to see him in the mind, energy, nature, and beings, we can always be Krishna conscious, even in daily life. You don't need to go and meditate in a secluded place, go to forest, and you should leave your family. You don't need to do all of that. So Krishna continues his opulences here, and he says, among sages, I am the Devarshi Narada. Narada Muni is a great traveling saint, all of us know, right? He sings glories of Narayana. He says Narayana, Narayana every time. And he goes from planet to planet and he spreads bhakti. And he also glorifies Krishna. That is his main motto of traveling around planets. And when we see someone constantly preaching Krishna consciousness or inspiring others to chant and serve, we should remember Krishna's power is working through them. Like Narada is doing that kind of service to Krishna. We should remember Krishna through Narada also. So just like a speaker carries a message from someone else, Narada carries Krishna's message. And Krishna says, I am that Narada. And Japa, Krishna also says, declares that chanting his holy names is the topmost yagna, topmost sacrifice in this age of Kali. Every time we chant Hare Krishna, it is Krishna revealing himself through sound. And how to see Krishna? The sound vibration of Krishna's name is Krishna himself, that we discussed already. When we chant sincerely, Krishna is present on our tongue and in our heart. In both places, Krishna will be present. We can feel if you do chanting attentively, but it takes time. But we need to start right now if we are not doing. And then, if you all know, Prahlad Maharaj is a 5-year-old small boy, right? He's born in a demon family, but his faith in Krishna never stopped. Even in the greatest dangers, he always remembered Krishna. And Krishna came as Narsimha Dev to protect him. So whenever we see unshakable faith, especially in tough times, we are seeing Krishna's presence in the heart of that devotee. Krishna is not only present in the deity or the idol form in temple. He appears even from a pillar when his devotee calls, like Narsimhadev appeared from the pillar to protect Prahlad Maharaj. That's what happened, right, for Prahlad. Krishna is not only in temples, he lives in the hearts of all the devotees, in the holy name also, and in every sincere act of devotion. Any activity that you do with devotion, Krishna is present there. So when we associate with devotees, hear Krishna Katha and chant sincerely, we are directly experiencing Krishna's divine presence there. And Krishna is also giving examples, more examples, how to see Krishna everywhere. He says, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor he ever lost to us, right? That's what he says. What does it mean? It means a spiritually awakened person understands that Krishna is the source of all energies. Everything comes from Krishna, whether it is nature, people, situations, or even challenges. Krishna is behind everything. He's present in the heart of every living being as Paramatma, as we discussed. And he's also giving some more examples. He's present in nature. When you see the rising sun, remember Krishna. Krishna already said, I am the light of the sun and the moon, right? In 7th chapter. When you drink water, think the taste of water is coming from Krishna. 7.8 also we discussed the same. And in people, when you see someone intelligence or strength, having great strength, understand it is Krishna's energy acting through them. And in daily life also, even in challenges, a devotee thinks Krishna is arranging this for my purification only. This is good for me, etc. Right? So that means you are in Krishna consciousness. A student might pray, Krishna, please help me remember what I have studied. Then somebody is praying like that. You should remember Krishna. And a parent may thank Krishna for the gift of a child. Somebody has a baby boy recently delivered, they may think, okay, God has given us this gift. Then you also should remember, okay, Krishna is behind that. So Srila Prabhupada also says Krishna consciousness is not about renouncing the world, but seeing Krishna in the world. So when our eyes are trained through knowledge and devotion, we can see Krishna's hand everywhere and anywhere. Devotees see Krishna in prasadam also. When somebody gives prasadam, they immediately remember Krishna. They chant Krishna's names regularly. The Mahamantra chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that they can constantly stay connected with Krishna. They see every person as part and parcel of Krishna, and they try to serve everyone spiritually. Even animals, ants, elephants, from small insect to a biggest elephant, they see everything is part and parcel of Krishna. So that understanding they will get only after hearing more about Krishna, understanding the knowledge given by Krishna. So the goal is not just to worship Krishna in the temple, but to carry that vision wherever we go. Such vision makes us peaceful, and it also gives us non-enviousness and loving relationship with Krishna, because we see Krishna's presence in everything. So this is the last section, and let us see what are the learnings that we have. The key learnings are understanding Krishna's greatness through bhakti. We need to purify our senses to appreciate the greatness of Krishna. Krishna's greatness is unlimited. To truly recognize his qualities, we need pure senses, not contaminated senses. When these senses will be contaminated, when we have more material desires, our senses will be contaminated. So if your glasses are dirty, you can't see clearly, right? In the same way, if our heart is covered by lust, anger, ego, we cannot understand Krishna properly. So by chanting Hare Krishna, following regulative principles, associating with devotees, hearing Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam, we gradually purify our senses and begin to appreciate Krishna's divine nature. So take some time regularly every day. Even 5 minutes is a good start. So think that 5 minutes I will read Bhagavad Gita, or I will hear some lecture, and I will read some one Bhagavatam, one page. It takes only 5 minutes, right? Make a habit of reading, hearing, chanting. Maybe 5 minutes, 15 minutes each. You cannot. You think about giving 15 minutes to Krishna out of your 24 hours. Arjuna is not in ignorance, but we are in ignorance. We can come out of this ignorance by preaching bhakti. Arjuna was already pure devotee. We could not. We could understand, and he could understand Krishna. But we are the only people who are trying to understand Krishna. But most of us are covered by illusion, which is called also known as Maya. Through devotional service, we can also reach the same state as Arjuna. So devotional service is very much important. So we when we have to think about devotional service, we have to hear about Krishna, understand Krishna. Only through bhakti, Krishna will reveal himself to us. And when we start bhakti, then you will be able to connect more with Krishna and understand Krishna more. So like a student who is not paying attention in class misses the point, right? While another attentive student understands everything. Arjuna is that attentive student. We must wake up spiritually by practicing bhakti. All things from Brahma to small ant are existing due to Krishna centering in them as super soul. So every living being from the highest creator Brahma to a tiny ant exists because Krishna is inside them as Paramatma. So just like electricity powers all machines, Krishna powers all life forms. Without Krishna, nothing can function. So that we need to understand. Krishna's unlimited power is in one spark. We need to understand. So this is the last shloka 10.42. Krishna says, what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. 10.42. This is the shloka that Krishna says. You don't need to know all this knowledge. You just know that I am the that spiritual spark. So I have shown you so many of my divine opulences, vibhutis, but actually you don't even need to know all of them. Just understand this: with just one small spark of my power, I maintain this entire universe. So you see this picture, right? These are the universes coming from the pores, sweat pores of Mahavishnu. It's millions, trillions, and zillions of universes. So they are not coming like universes, but they are coming like small bubbles, and they're growing big as they are coming out. So when Mahavishnu breathes out, there are so many universes coming out of his pores. And when Mahavishnu breathes in, all of them will merge into Mahavishnu. The destruction happens for all the millions, trillions, and zillions of universes, and they enter into Mahavishnu. So that's how the entire universe creation happens. So Krishna is saying, I maintain this entire universe with a small spark of my power. So you don't need to even know about all my divine opulences. You just think about this small spark, then you will understand everything is what Krishna says. So Krishna is unlimited. All glories, beauty, intelligence, strength, power we see in this world are just a tiny fraction of Krishna's opulences. What we see is only a spark, not even a full display. We will not be able to understand because we are in one of these universes, right? And in that universe also we are only on the Earth planet, and there are 17 planetary systems, 7 up, 7 down. So think about our tiny place within the energies of Krishna. He is the source and sustainer. Krishna is not just a part of the universe, he is above and beyond it. Everything is existing within him, yet he remains separate and fully independent. So he is not within that. The universe is not a random thing. So few people think that everything, the nature takes care of everything. It's not random. The cosmos with all its complexity, it is not functioning automatically, right? It's Krishna's will and energy that keeps everything running. So imagine seeing the sun, planets, oceans, and galaxies, and then realizing all this is just a spark of Krishna's power. If he can manage the whole universe with just a fragment of himself, then he can easily take care of our life also, right? We need to think in that way and surrender to Krishna and serve Krishna. So this is the end of chapter 10. And what is there in the next session? Next week, we will be discussing about universal form. So Arjuna requests, after hearing all this knowledge, Krishna says, I'm all pervading. He says, he is requesting Krishna, can you show me your universal form? And Krishna shows his universal form. And Arjuna prays that universal form. And he also requests, he's fearful of looking at the universal form. Then he prays Krishna to come with the normal human form like before. Then he comes to armed form, Krishna Shyam Sundara Rupam. So this is the next session. Chapter 11 is universal form. We will discuss next Saturday. Thank you, everyone. You have any comments, questions? Okay, well, let us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I hope you had a nice Yogini Ekadashi. Today is Ekadashi. So we will chant one mantra together. Unmute yourself and chant along with me.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Sorry, I think I tried covering fast, but I'm taking more time. I didn't want to miss few things which are very important. 20 minutes over. Sorry about that.
So,
Any comments, questions before we close?
so can we differentiate the two terms, yajna and homa? Homam and Yagnam.
Yagna is a sacrifice, right?
Yes.
Homa, so Yagna is a fire sacrifice. Usually in ancient times, Yagna refers to a fire sacrifice. They used to have that Yagna Kunda and they used to offer oblations, the ghee and everything. That is called Yagna. But everything is Yagna. So when you are chanting Krishna's name, it is also Yagna. And you are reading Bhagavad Gita, that is also Yagna. So everything is treated as Yagna in Kali Yuga. But in ancient days, they used to perform Yagnas for rains, and from rains, grains come, and from grains, the nourishment comes, and that grains will be offered to God again, and God again gives that knowledge of doing that yagna. So that is the yagna cycle that we have seen in third chapter, right?
Yes.
So every sacrifice that you do for Krishna, you do as an offering, is called yagna.
Okay. But
And
Homa
then
is only with fire. Homam. Homam means we need some ingredients like wood, sandalwood, ghee, like that. Fire.
yes, yes.
Homam.
Homa is Homa is one of the, maybe there are different homas, right? You put fire sacrifices. So that is also a yagna only. That is also a sacrifice. You are doing homa for some purpose, right? And you are doing for God only. So that is also yagna. And there
Homa
was
is
a question.
sub-element. Homa is sub-element of your yagna.
Homa is not sub-element of yagna. So it is also, yeah, I think you can think also the same way. That is also treated as yagna. You're right.
Yes.
So there are many things treated as yagna. Homa is one among them.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
See, actually, regularly I do Ekadashi fasting
Mm.
and I take Sabudana Khichdi actually with the
Okay.
sandalum salt and all those things.
Mhm.
Nowadays, few people are saying that Sabudana should also be not consumed. Is it right or like
No,
what should
Mataji.
be,
Sabudana can be consumed.
what other than that, madam?
So there are list of items that you can take during Ekadashi. So one is sabudana, sweet potatoes. Potatoes you can take, and groundnuts, cashew nuts, you can take. I can send you the list in the group.
Okay, Mataji. Another thing I heard that root vegetables should not be consumed. Some people say that root vegetables should not be consumed, and and recently I seen in the of YouTube channel also one lady saying she's also ISKCON member. She's saying that beetroot should not be consumed, and carrot should not be consumed since these are root vegetables. Then
I'll send you
potato
the
is a
list,
root
Mataji.
Okay,
Potatoes you can, potatoes and sweet potatoes you can take. There are some
okay,
vegetables you can take, and there is something called kuttuka atta. That atta also you can take. I'll
okay,
send you the list so there is no
okay,
confusion.
Mataji. Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So there was a question yesterday about Lord Shiva. If anyone is interested, you can stay back. Otherwise, we can take it as a closure. There's one Mataji who wants to understand if Lord Shiva is demigod or not. So we'll discuss about that for 5 minutes. And if you want to drop off, you can drop off. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nandakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.